Well, students, we come to the study of vector addition, and as you have seen there, it is written as a triangle law. So we'll restrict our discussion to addition and triangle law. Now, addition can be performed on actually two different type of vectors, which we call non-coinitial and coinitial. So it is non-coinitial and coinitial. Now, what we mean when we say that two vectors are coinitial or two vectors are non-coinitial, let us come to that study first. So you see, these two vectors which have a common origin is what is called a coinitial vector, and these two vectors which do not have a common origin is called a non-coinitial vector. So now the first addition that we are coming into is the addition of non-coinitial vector. So non-coinitial vector, we begin with the study where we have these two vectors, one A and the other B, and then we add them. Say these two vectors are A and B, and we add them, and the addition is what we call the triangle law. Now, according to the law, the resultant of A and B, or the addition of A and B, whatever you call it, will be the line joining the tail of the first to the terminus of the second. Now, before adding this vector, we should also check that whether the vectors A and B that I am adding are in same order or not. Now, let us check out what we mean by same order. So, if I have a vector like this and I have another vector like this, then I say that they are in order. But if I have a vector like this and another like this, then unfortunately these two vectors are not in order. So, you can only apply the triangle law when you have two vectors in order. Now let us come to another case where we can show that how you can just add the vectors and take the law further away. Now say you are adding these two vectors. Here I have a vector there and there. I have two vectors like this, and I have another vector like this. Say this is A, this is B, and this is C. Now, in this figure, if I am asking you that what should be the triangle law, then you should check out that which two vectors are in order. If I start from here, A and B, well, they are not in order. If I start from here, A and C, well, they are not in order. But if I check for C and B, I find these two vectors are in order. So, the answer for the triangle law here is A is equal to C plus B. So you see, this order, maintenance of order is what is very important, and you should check before applying the triangle law. I have found many students who find that triangle law is nothing but A plus B plus C. So irrespective of a situation, they go on writing like this, A plus B plus C. But mind you, that is not the triangle law. The triangle law is finding the resultant of these two vectors. Which two vectors? Which are in order. And which is the resultant? The resultant is always the vector which joins the first vector, the tail of the first vector, to the head of the second vector. Now, if I want to have an extension of this, let me check out that how I can have that extension. The extension is nothing but a polygon rule. But well, what is a polygon rule? Say for example, I have an arm like this, which is vector A. I have an arm like this, which is vector B. And I have an arm like this, which is vector C. Now, if I am to ask to add all these three, then what I apply is the polygon rule, which is again directed from the terminus of the first to the head of the last vector here. And this is your resultant vector R. So you see why we are calling this a polygon rule and not a polygon law. I must tell you that. You see, actually in a polygon rule, we are adding the triangle law twice. How? When we are adding A and B, we have this line as A and B. Well, and then you can go on to write A and B, A plus B plus C equal to R. So actually we are applying a triangle law here and again a triangle law there. So when I write this polygon that R is equal to A plus B plus C, I am actually applying it. What I am doing is I am applying twice the triangle law, once for A plus B and the other for A plus B plus C. So this is all I have for triangle law right now. Thank you, students. For testing your understanding of this lesson and more videos, log on to www.tubelessons.net.